Let it adjust. Let it adjust. Hey. Hold on. There we go. What's up, y'all? Hey. Today, 3 minutes that'll change your whole, change how you see reparations. Love to be changed how I see about that, definitely. Y'all subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash that like button, and let's get it. Let's go. Y'all know I have no time to waste. Let's get it. Let's go.
Hey, my name's Blair. Just got a question for you here.
Blair?
How do you feel about the black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that.
Okay. Well, why so?
Well, first of all, what is the black community? So, for example, do you mean like recent immigrants from Haiti or Nigeria?
I do not. No.
Okay, for sure. So you're meaning like ancestral descendants of slaves.
Correct.
That could be proven with documentation.
Absolutely.
Right? 100%. Okay. So to be consistent, do you believe that other groups that have been mistreated in America should also receive reparations?
What are those other groups?
Well, they're not necessarily by America, but let's just take one. Jewish Americans, right?
Okay.
They almost got eliminated in the Holocaust. Should they receive reparations?
Not from us.
Okay, not from us.
Not from the United States. That is.
Okay.
Wait a minute. The Jews did receive reparations for the Holocaust. Chinese Americans did receive reparations for being thrown in internment camps during World War II. People did receive reparations when they were mistreated. Instead of you guys getting emotional in the comments, go research that. That did happen. Where's he going with this?
So here's my view, and I want to hear yours, which is that I did not own slaves, and you were not a slave.
Correct.
Right, so we are individuals, and therefore we cannot be held accountable or should receive something from something that didn't happen to us or something we did not do.
That's a good argument.
That is a basic law of justice, that I can't be held accountable for something that somebody looked like me did, and you should not benefit from something that somebody you were related to. Now, you would probably say systemic racism and how that passed down to generations. Happy to address that. The problem with reparations, though, is basically what you're saying is, I'm going to take money from Charlie Kirk for something he didn't do and give it to a group of something, to somebody of something they also didn't do. For what reason? How is that just?
So that's
before he goes, I get that point. I get it. I'll let him go because I get the point of I'm not a slave today. I didn't do anything. I don't know your shit, right? That's the fault for white people. The argument for black people is that the generations down the line have been affected negatively because of this. And this is why we're somewhat in some of the situations we're in. So we need something to move us out of that situation. It's definitely a conflicting battle that's going to last in America for a long time until everybody realizes that we're all Americans and we need to find a way to help each other out. Like white people and black people, we need to find a way to bring us all together. But these type of conversations and this type of question throughout the generations has always been a marker for what to do. What do you do? What do you do? Yes, there is a bunch of black communities that are disenfranchised, but there are also white communities that are disenfranchised. So how do we incorporate everybody together? I don't know, but I guess reparations probably to white people would be the worst thing ever. Yeah, probably. Let's see.
so much how it's just, but there are those arguments that says because of what happened in the past, this group of people have been negatively affected from this nation's crimes against humanity to that certain group of people. And that's how we see it, or how some people see it, if you will.
Okay, sure, but I will say that even if there is some truth to that, which I wouldn't even be willing to grant very much, because Black America was doing incredibly well before the not incredible, they were pacing to be even richer than white America, is that we must look through the question of, is it just and moral to take from one group, especially first and second generation immigrants that had nothing to do with this. So think about it. Your tax base would be taxing, if anyone here is Irish or Polish and your family came 100 years ago, we would be taxing people that had nothing to do with it. And I'll go a step further. My family fought on the Union side of the Civil War, right? So you're going to be taxing Charlie Kirk, whose descendants fought to free the slaves, to go give money to people that were descended, from slaves. So what is a way that we could try to help all communities? Here's maybe we can find some common ground, right?
Sure,
instead of reparations.
Sure.
Is that we need to break the cartel of public sector teacher unions, allow school choice to occur, and make it easier for people, all backgrounds, but specifically Hispanic and Black individuals and young kids, to have a quality education, because a good education in K through 12 is one of the most assured ways that they'll be able to succeed later in life. Secondly, we need to put fathers back in the home.
Yeah, I agree with that.
70% of Black kids are raised without a stable father in the country. So if we can find common ground on that, I think that would go a lot further than just giving cash for people that happen to be related to something that evil that happened a little while ago.
Okay. I've been always weary about the question of reparations anyway, right? I've always been weary about because of the question of how would we do it. My thing would be, how would you be able to find who the slaves are? Because technically there are white people who are descendants of slaves as well from generation to generation. So it would be, and if we were going to give reparations, I would believe everybody who had some tie back to slavery would have to get that, right? But how we do that, how we find that, and with the country the way it is, that's a very divisive thing. Breaking teachers unions, though, this is why I don't understand the conservative side of everything. The teachers unions protect the teachers from being able to be disenfranchised by the federal government or by a state government, right? You need unions. I don't care how many times these conservatives try to get you to get away from the unions. The unions protect the workers. No matter what, whenever there's a union in place, it is protecting the workers. Everywhere I've ever worked, even if you don't like the fact that everyone gets paid exactly the same, even if someone does lesser work, still everyone is protected, and the boss can't go tyrannical. Places where I haven't worked, bosses have always been tyrannical, and in my opinion, in a lot of places I've worked without unions, there's less productivity. It seems to be more productivity when there is a union, when everybody's getting paid a good amount of wage, and a union is there to back them when the employer becomes too tyrannical. Still, even with a union, you still almost can't prevent an employer from becoming tyrannical. But that's how I feel about the teacher union. I think that's a ridiculous thing. And also, I think I think it's not a ridiculous point to say fathers need to be in the homes. I hear them saying that, but how do you do that? Like, most fathers are not in their homes because they don't have enough money to take care of their family. And that's crazy to say, that they abandon their family at a point where they don't have the money to take care of it, but that's mostly the reason. Most men who have, from six-figure incomes to enough income to where they can cover a family, stay around and take care of the family. So income is definitely something that would have to be put in place. The ability to be able to discuss the court system and how the court system treats men is definitely a conversation that we should have. But this is what I don't like about the conservatives. It's like they say that without any vetting. Let's go into communities and let's discuss with the younger generation that they need to be in their children's lives and give them examples of how to be in your children's life, how to be more effective of a person. Teach them about trades, dump money in the communities where it seems like fathers are more likely to abandon their children. It's never any solutions. It's just, hey, fathers need to be in the home. Let's move forward. Let's crack the teachers unions, which will affect workers. And let's talk about fathers need to be in a home. A solution that really has no solution. Like a solution that they're not giving a solution to. It's weird. It's weird to say that, but that's exactly what I'm hearing most of the time when we talk about the conversation of fathers being in the home. Now, reparations, again, like I said, I don't think reparations, at least I know other communities got it, but I think it's too much hatred from the other side of the community, and not enough realization of what happened. There's not enough teaching of what happened to black people. So it'd be too hard to get them to understand that it's not, you're actually helping Americans. You're actually helping Americans that were disenfranchised. What he just said, and I want you guys to catch on to, in that conversation, he said that there was a period of time where black Americans were on par to surpass white Americans. Something happened between 1865 when the slaves were freed and 1965 when they had to pass the Civil Rights Act. There's a reason the Civil Rights Act was passed, and there's a reason why blacks are now on a downward trajectory. I can't stand when Candace Owens, him, and not Jesse Lee Peterson, but Jesse Lee Peterson is one of them, but Larry Elder bring that up without discussing the fact that as time went on and these systems were put in place from Republicans and Democrats, no in between. Republicans and Democrats played a role in this. When they were put in place, it disenfranchised the black community, which made it more complicated for people to go forward with things. And this is why the black community is on a downward spiral. One of the main reasons why the black community is on a downward downward spiral. Do we need to pull ourselves up out of that? Yes. Do there need to be more leaders in the community to help with that? Which was also, if you read about COINTELPRO, our leaders were eliminated, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton. The leaders that we had in our community that were trying to push things forward were eliminated. Or like Farrakhan were seen as anti-Semitic or pushed into a different bracket to where they couldn't do all the help that they could help. Muammar Gaddafi offered to give $1 billion worth of reparations to the black community. And then what happened to Muammar Gaddafi? And I know, I admit, it's under Obama. Muammar Gaddafi was eliminated. So there are many things and many areas where solutions have been put in place. It's always seemingly a pushback from white America anytime any of that stuff happens. And I don't know. I just think this is a frustrating thing, and it'll go on for generations until we learn how to find a way to coexist. But all right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.